Did you know that over 90% of the world's financial cybercrimes remain either unsolved or only partially recovered? In today's video, we're diving into one of the most jaw-dropping heists in banking history, where a spelling mistake saved nearly $1 billion, but also revealed one of the most dangerous state-sponsored hacker groups in the world, North Korea's Lazarus group. Welcome back to the channel, where we explore the world's craziest real-life crime stories. Today, we're covering a case that sounds like it belongs in a Hollywood thriller. It involves elite hackers, months of surveillance, international money laundering, insider threats, and yes, one fateful typo that stopped $1 billion cyber heist dead in its tracks. This is the video of how North Korea's Lazarus group nearly stole $1 billion from Bangladesh Bank, and how one tiny mistake exposed one of the boldest operations in modern cybercrime history. As we move more of our global financial systems online, the risks of cyber attacks grow exponentially. Central banks, which manage entire countries' reserves, are now prime targets for hackers who have the patience, skills, and resources to carry out attacks that can bankrupt. But what makes this heist so chilling isn't just the amount of money involved. It's the meticulous, military-grade planning that went into it. The Lazarus group didn't just attack. They studied, learned, infiltrated, and waited for the perfect moment. Exploration, development. Part 1. Planning the perfect heist. Our story begins way back in October 2014. While the world slept, North Korea's elite cyber warfare unit, the Lazarus Group, also known as Blue Noroff or APT-38, quietly launched one of their most ambitious missions ever, to infiltrate Bangladesh Bank. They spent months probing the bank's network defenses, identifying weaknesses, and figuring out how Bangladesh Bank's internal SWIFT system operated. They were like burglars carefully mapping out every corner of a fortress. Cybersecurity experts later compared their approach to mapping the inside of a castle using a straw and toothpick. By December 2015, Lazarus had successfully breached Bangladesh Bank's network. They planted malware, including backdoors, keyloggers, and credential-stealing programs. They even compromised the SWIFT printers so staff wouldn't see printed confirmations of unauthorized transfers. Part 2. The phishing email that opened the door. But how did they get in? It all started with a single spear phishing email in January 2015. An email appeared in one employee's inbox, supposedly from a job applicant named Razal Alam. Attached to that email was a Word document loaded with malware. When the employee opened it, the malware installed itself on Bangladesh Bank's network, silently recording credentials and administrator passwords. Lazarus used this access to infiltrate deeper and deeper into the bank's systems, eventually gaining complete control over the SWIFT terminals. For over a year, they monitored everything who logged in, who approved transactions, even the staff's daily schedules. They knew when systems were idle, who was responsible for approvals, and when security teams were off duty. Part 3. The inside job suspicions. By February 2016, the group was ready to strike. Interestingly, investigators believe Lazarus may have had help from insiders or exploited shocking levels of negligence. The FBI reported that disabling the SWIFT printers crucial to hiding the heist required inside knowledge of the bank's systems. Some employees admitted they didn't fully understand SWIFT, but still had access privileges. Over 100 bank staff were later interrogated. The bank's security protocols were woefully outdated, leaving massive gaps for hackers to exploit. As one cybersecurity expert put it, "It was like hiring a pickpocket, handing him your ID badge, and giving him full access to the vault." Part 4. D-Day the heist unfolds, February 4th, 2016. On February 4th and 5th, 2016, a weekend for Bangladesh when staffing was minimal, the hackers launched their attack. They issued 35 fraudulent SWIFT transfer requests to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, attempting to move nearly $1 billion out of Bangladesh Bank's reserves. The plan was meticulous. The timing coincided with the Asian Lunar New Year and a partial Fed closure, delaying detection. But here's where luck intervened. One transaction raised red flags due to a simple typo. Instead of writing Shalika Foundation, the fake recipient they wrote Shalika Foundation. Deutsche Bank, which was processing one of the transactions, flagged it as suspicious. This typo triggered a compliance check, freezing part of the transfers. Of the 35 SWIFT requests, only 5 went through before the attack was caught. In total, about $101 million was successfully stolen, far less than the intended $951 million. Part 5. The Laundering Maze. Of the stolen money, $20 million destined for Sri Lanka was completely recovered thanks to the typo, but the remaining $81 million was routed through 4 accounts at RCBC Bank in the Philippines, opened months earlier under fake identities between February 5th and 13th. The stolen funds were laundered, rapidly converted into pesos, funneled through Manila casinos, and washed via junket operators. Casinos were an ideal choice because they were largely exempt from anti-money laundering regulations. At the time to date, about $18 million has been recovered. The rest has likely vanished into private accounts, never to be seen again. Part 6. The Investigation and Attribution. Once the fraud was uncovered, a massive international investigation kicked off. Cybersecurity firms FireEye, Mandiant, Symantec, and BAE Systems analyzed the malware used, including tools like Mimikatz and Dark Comet, and traced the attack back to Lazarus Group. The FBI later indicted North Korean hacker Park Jin-hyuk, who was also linked to the Sony hack and the WannaCry ransomware attack. Global authorities, including Interpol and CISA, confirmed North Korea's involvement, but this heist was just the beginning of a much larger cybercrime empire. Part 7. Lazarus evolves from banks to crypto. 2023-2025. After Bangladesh, Lazarus shifted its focus to cryptocurrency, a much less regulated, highly liquid, and globally accessible financial system. In June 2023, they stole $100 million from Atomic Wallet. In July 2024, they hit WazirX for another $235 million. And in February 2025, they pulled off the largest crypto heist in history, stealing approximately $1.5 billion from Bybit. Blockchain analysts from Elliptic, TRM Labs, Arkham Intelligence, and the FBI all confirmed that these crypto hacks were coordinated by Lazarus Group. The Bybit attack involved exploiting smart contracts and transferring funds from cold wallets to warm wallets during system upgrades. By early 2025, Lazarus had stolen over $3 billion through combined banking and crypto attacks, helping North Korea evade UN sanctions and fund its nuclear weapons program. Part 8. The Fallout, Legal Battles, and Consequences. Following the Bangladesh bank heist, multiple legal battles erupted. RCBC was fined $52.92 million by the Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas in August 2016 for anti-money laundering violations. Bangladesh Bank sued RCBC multiple times in US courts, though parts of those cases were dismissed. As recently as February 2024, the governor of Bangladesh Bank, Atiur Rahman, resigned shortly after the scandal broke, though he argued that bureaucratic obstacles hampered the bank's cybersecurity efforts. Meanwhile, SWIFT has since implemented stricter security protocols, and crypto exchanges are enhancing cold wallet storage and multi-signature protections to avoid becoming the next victims. Climax. And yet, when we reflect on this entire operation, it's mind-blowing to realize that the single factor that prevented nearly $1 billion from being stolen was one simple spelling mistake: "Fandation" instead of "foundation." It wasn't advanced cybersecurity software or airtight firewalls, it was human error, ironically made by the criminals themselves, that saved Bangladesh from complete disaster. Conclusion. This story isn't just about a failed bank heist. It's about the evolution of cybercrime in the 21st century, from banks to crypto exchanges, and how state-sponsored groups like Lazarus are using these crimes to fuel dangerous regimes. The Bangladesh bank heist taught the world hard lessons about insider threats, weak security protocols, and the devastating consequences of underestimating cyber threats. Which part blew your mind: the year-long setup, the insider access, or that one typo that saved hundreds of millions? Drop a comment below. And if you love crazy financial heists, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next wild story. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.